Does your child get easily distracted, jumping from one activity to the other, or even leaving the tasks unfinished because they find it hard to focus on the given tasks for a short period of time? You're not alone. Many parents and teachers complain about how their children have short attention span, and they wonder, how can I help my child to build up their concentration such that they can complete given tasks in due time without moving around from one thing to another? Welcome to today's video, where I will be sharing with you practical tips to help you build up the attention span of your young learners. Welcome to my channel. My name is Michael-Ayeni, and here on this channel I share early childhood education and phonics and diction tips. If you're new here, please be sure to hit the subscribe button and hit the notification button so you can be notified when my videos come up. Now let's talk about how to develop attention span in young children. Now, a number of times we realize that when we're trying to build concentration in our children, we're focusing on unrealistic targets. We're thinking my child should be able to sit still for 10-15 minutes or even 20-30 minutes. Now here is a quick trick for you. For every child, it is important to multiply their age by 2 or 3 for the expected attention span that you would get. For instance, if a child is 4, you should not expect more than 8 minutes to 12 minutes of concentration on a task for that child. And if a child is 5, do not expect more than 10 to 15 minutes of concentration from that child. So we're looking at 2 or 3 times the child's age for their concentration level. It is quite impossible to expect a 3-year-old or a 4-year-old to focus on a task for 20 to 30 minutes without any form of engagement. That is too much for their age. So let's talk about some other things that you can do to help build up their concentration or their attention span at a given age. First, start small. It is important to start by setting realistic targets. Like I said, 2 to 3 times the child's age. Start with that and gradually increase it if you want to build their concentration level to be able to do a lot more. You want your child to be able to focus on writing, or to be able to focus on reading, or to be able to focus on listening to a story. Start small. Set timers that they can see. Visual timers, by the way. So you want to look at a sound timer, you want to use a timer on your phone or on a clock, such that the child can see it counting down and knows that this is the required number of minutes that they have. And once the timer goes off, they're free to move around for a few minutes and come back to that task. So first, start small and gradually extend. And while you're doing this, be sure to use a visual timer that the child can also see. 2, make learning active. It is important that the children are allowed to move around during the activities they've been given. If you want to read, for instance, include some movement and hands-on activity such that the child is not only sitting and listening. They are not just engaging their minds, but you're also engaging their hands, their legs, and yes, you're making sure that they are doing things while they are trying to engage in the activities that you've given, because you want to make sure that they are actively involved. While your child is looking at you and you expect them to focus, their mind can drift to so many other things. So you want to make sure that you actively engage them. Children focus better when they are actively involved, when their hands are touching, when their eyes are seeing. So you're thinking of how you can include all of their 5 senses: their eyes, their ears, their mouth, their hands, even their feet should be moving around. That way you get their 100% attention because they are actively engaged in the task that you have given. 3, create a distraction-free environment. You want to make sure that there is a particular area that is assigned to learning or the engagement that you might have. It is important that while the child is learning, there's no TV playing in the background, there are no other children or adults working around, which can actually cause for distraction. It is important that you create an area where the child knows that this is learning time, and so this is focus time. 4, break tasks into smaller steps. It is important that you're giving one instruction at a time. So it is not a write and then read and then jump and then build. No. Give one instruction at a time. So you want to start by saying, let's color the sun. And after they're done coloring the sun, you can move on to say, let's cut out the sun. Now, let's fix the puzzles. So you go from one instruction to the other, such that the child does not feel overwhelmed by the number of activities that they might see in front of them. So make sure that you break the instructions into smaller steps, such that the child is able to catch up with the smaller task that has been given before you move on to the very next one. Next, be sure to incorporate movement breaks. Like I said earlier, when you use a visual timer, the moment the child has been able to complete the assigned tasks in the number of minutes given, give them a bit of time to move around. Give them a bit of time to have their own free play, and then come back in another 5 or 10 minutes. So that way the child gets to have a break from that task that you have assigned, which would help them to learn or to do something educational, and then they have a break time and they're able to come back to continue the task you're given. From there, you can always make the breaks shorter and the activity longer. That way you're gradually building up their attention span to be able to focus, knowing that after this task you will have a bit of break and you can always come back to the activity. The child would always look forward to the activity, hence you will get a lot more attention from them with that given time. Remember, the visual timer is important. Next, use positive reinforcement. Be sure to celebrate your child's efforts as they go on. It is something they would look forward to when they know that their effort to be celebrated, when they know that they will hear nice words from you. Well done. I love how you focus to complete that task. Oh, good job. Look at how you built it nicely without even getting distracted. I am so proud of you. Children always look forward to being praised by the adults when they think that they are giving their best, and they would want to hear more of that positive reinforcement. So you can be sure to get a lot more focus from them as you praise constantly. Remember, you're praising the effort, not particularly the end result. So if you expected 5 minutes of concentration and you only got 2 minutes, be sure to give that feedback. Oh, good job. I love how you focused, even though you were quite distracted, but well done. Let's keep trying to get better. And that way the child knows that, okay, I didn't meet up to the expectation, but I am gradually getting there. So you're celebrating the effort that they have put into concentrating on the given tasks, and gradually they would start to meet up to the expectation. Next, read aloud regularly. It is also important that you incorporate reading time or story time to the activities that you use to build up your child's attention span. Story time is a good way to aid concentration naturally. The child is listening and trying to imagine the pictures that they are hearing you read aloud. And while you're reading aloud, be sure to dramatize. Be sure to use the voices, to change your voices for the different characters. So I'll give an example. One day, the lion was going in the jungle and he heard a loud bang. "Who is that?" said Mr. Lion. The child would constantly look forward to the voices that you are actually bringing up, and they want to imagine the lion, the mouse, the different characters, and the kind of voices that you are giving to them. And that way you're painting a picture in their mind, which helps them to stay focused through the time that the story is being read. So it is important to read aloud to the children and do your best to bring the story to life while you read. You can also pause to ask questions because you want to be sure that they understand what you're reading. Ask them what they think about each character. Ask them if they understand what you have read. Ask them questions about one or two things that might have also happened in the story while you were reading. So give them time to actually think and share their thoughts with you. Next, model focused behavior. It is important that the children can see the adults also giving their time to specific activities without getting distracted. So you want to be able to focus on maybe building a puzzle with them, reading a book to them without getting distracted maybe by the TV or by the phone or by some other things that you might be able to control. Yes, we know that some you might not be able to control, but the ones that you can, do your best to give them your attention just as you expect them to give it to you as well. And finally, it is important that while you're trying to build up your child's attention span, you're watching out to know if there are any underlying issues that might be causing the child to not be able to pay attention or to not be able to stay focused. So remember that while you're trying to build up your attention span, it is not an issue that you can fix immediately. It will take gradual steps and intentional activities to help you to build their concentration span. And while you're doing this, be sure to look out to be sure that there are no specific disorders that might be making it impossible for your child to pay attention to given tasks. Be sure to consult a specialist or seek further assessment if or when required, so that you're certain that these concentration issues are not due to some developmental concerns which could be making it impossible for the child to stay focused. So, to go over all the points that we have shared today, first, it is important to start small and gradually increase the time that you assign to your child or learner to stay on a particular activity. 2, make learning active. Hands-on activities are very important. 3, create a distraction-free environment. 4, break tasks into smaller steps by giving one instruction at a time. 5, incorporate movement breaks. 6, use positive reinforcement. 7, read aloud regularly. 8, model focused behavior. And 9, watch out for underlying issues. I think at this point I will also add that it is important that while you're doing all of these, create routines and structures that the child knows to follow from time to time, such that they understand that we have to complete this task before we move on to the next. I hope that all of these has helped you to understand how you can build attention span in your young child, whether at home or in the classroom. Thank you for watching. If you have enjoyed watching, please be sure to click the like button or drop a comment for us in the comment section, and don't forget to share with friends, colleagues and family members who might also find this video useful. I'll see you in my next video. Bye for now.